intuition. And I remember saying last year, when you were talking about the end of the Kali Yuga, I remember in one video precisely saying, Nancy nailed it. You absolutely nailed the date. So what we're going to, Nancy and I had a catch-up conversation recently, and in that I was talking about this big evolutionary wave that we're in right now. Certainly June, July, and Nancy shared that she was seeing it kind of June, July, August principally. So I think this is where we're going to start. Now, first of all, welcome again.
Thank you.
Fascinating conversation. So, yeah, tell us about, from your point of view, this evolutionary wave that we're in right now and how it feels to you and what your experiences are.
Yes, thank you. So, so I got really excited. I will say, I know I've been in contact with you by email, but just for everyone to know, I had made a decision last November to kind of put to bed any podcast or anything like that the information I was getting from the blue celestial beings was that there was an enormous wave of blue light coming through, and it was really going to where we may have that potential to feel hit the hardest was in our physical bodies. Now, the thing is, because being a registered nurse, I love the physiology of the body. I love about the light body. All of this that's coming together, I find really exciting. And then we had these waves coming up, and then suddenly it was like, here we are in June, so it was the beginning of May. The blue beings of light are always coming in. I just want to let everyone know that they're still really active in the world. The light codes that are coming through, I feel like those are like guiding lights, guiding maps, or breadcrumbs, like Hansel and Gretel, following their way. The breadcrumbs kind of leading us where we need to go. So whether you're consciously aware of those or not, they're always available to us. It's up to us whether we're going to pick up the pieces or even bother reading the map. So that's really what it comes down to, because they're always very clear. We all have equal opportunity options here. All right, so having said that, they came through in May, and they said, we're going to have potentially up to, so I'm calling this time period the 333, or that's what they call it, the 333s. And this is 3 months, June, July, August, and then the 3 years. So this period of 26, 27, 28, and then the next 30 years, of which I will not have the pleasure of following that all the way to the end. I can't imagine that I would be.
Of course, you're going to live a lot longer, Nancy.
So this focus was on the 3 months. Now, the blue beings of light talked about this being a metamorphic change. This isn't just transformational change. This isn't just a little shift. This is the big one. And this is this set point right where we are right now that will literally change your trajectory over the next 3 years and the next 30 years. So it's extremely significant. Now, they wanted me to create this program, which I did, called Entering the Metamorphosis. And I'm like, but here, Pam, I know you might relate. So how big one? Really? Like, really? Like, I don't have enough going on?
And they're like, I was talking about this a couple of years ago with the dwarf planet Sedna, because she is my dwarf planet of metamorphosis. And that's exactly what we're going through now. And I was looking at this time period right now.
Yeah, because I'm not immune to these changes either. I'm going through the same exact changes that you all are going through. The difference, I would say, is that I feel like my recovery time is shorter because of the work that I've done, and that I can turn things around pretty quickly. So when they said, Nancy, you must create this program for people because it's the kickoff for the next 3 years and then the next 30 years. So in the metamorphosis, I just wanted to, where my notes were on this, apologies, you would think that I would know all this. So in the metamorphic shift, entering the metamorphosis, we're in the chrysalis phase right now. So we are recording this. It'll be coming out the end of June. But I was shown between the 11th and the 19th, excuse me, the 24th, the 11th and the 24th of June, it just this explosive, like LED light. And honestly, Pam, I didn't want to use the word explosive because we're having some war things going on and I didn't want to trigger people. And then I was watching your video, I think it was on Uranus, and is it square like the south node or nodal?
So the nodal axis, that was not exact on the 12th. And I felt that strongly. Big upset.
And you said explosive. And so I was like, okay, if Pam's saying explosive, then I can say explosive. But this is what it's like a shattering. And so entering the chrysalis, so as a caterpillar, and the chrysalis is forming. And what I love about the word chrysalis, I feel like it's a crystallized body that we're going through. Then as you enter this, but there is this explosion, almost this separation into a pure liquefied form. And for anybody that wants to know what that looks like, I have found a couple of videos that are actually showing the caterpillar in the chrysalis becoming liquid. And the liquid it moves back and forth, like taking little, blood, the blood tubes that go back and forth when they're mixing it. So it very much looks like that. Now, what I'm seeing, Pam, is the very first week in July is when the chrysalis starts really softening. It's in that softening phase because now there's this, all of this is highly active that's going on the inside of us. I know there's a lot going on in the outer world. I'm being asked to focus on the inner world that's happening inside of all of us right now. So it would be like, it reminds me of Star Trek, where you step in that transporter and you go into little molecules, you end up in a whole different place and all the molecules come back together again and you look exactly the same, but you're not the same. And that's what I want to say. So then by the time we get into the second week and around the 23rd, 24th of July, although they're not they don't kind of nail it down at that level, but I can see where the light point is. I can see where the light is the most intense, and it's the most intense then, but we're being very affected all of July. That's when the chrysalis starts to open.
Just to catch you there, there's a real crescendo of energy through July, an absolute, crescendo of hundreds of years with sort of locking its geometry exactly together. And that's really mid-July. It sort of starts on the 15th, goes to, and the whole series of exact aspects between the outer planets, sort of the 15th to the 25th.
Wow.
So it's that midpoint. So it's exactly really when you're talking about. So you're seeing a lot of light coming in at that point?
A lot of light, almost this blinding light. And there's a sense it's blinding us to what's out there. And it's turning on the lights to what's in here. Right. It's also a major purge point. So what this means is that your DNA is purging any programming. To me, it looks like a black, like coal, like black soot over the DNA, over the genetics, over the epigenetics. And so there's this purge point between now and this point in July, and then there's this activation. So again, remember the butterflies about ready to start coming out.
Brilliant. This is so exciting because, it's echoing the astrology without you knowing any astrology. So it's enormously exciting because, I've been looking at this crescendo in July, as have many astrologers, and just thinking, how is this going to start to manifest? But yes, there's going to be all kinds of, outer stuff happening, no doubt. But there is so much that's positive and exciting and upsurging happening on the inside. And I really felt that upsurge on the 12th of June. and again at the Cancer solstice just yesterday.
Well, are you sure we can't talk for 4 hours? So, so I had my first conference ever, and the first full day happened to be on June 12th. And that is not the date that we had planned it because of FIFA and soccer, and football and all of that stuff. They had to move us to that weekend. So I know that Spirit arranged that. And our first full day was on the 12th, and we felt it big time. And then the solstice event I had yesterday, we felt in an enormous way as well. But here's the thing that I don't want to forget. We have the big waves. So I just mentioned that. These are big waves. We've got some smaller waves coming through. And the smaller waves are all the elementals, the unicorns, the fairies, the giants, the little people, I can't even name them all, the water beings, the mermaids, I just can't even name them all. And to me, they remind me of is Pinocchio, and he lived with the shoemaker, but it's like they're coming in like, as the chrysalis is starting to soften in July, what they're doing is they're coming in, they've taken all the bits and they're bringing them back together, and they're helping to align them with your nervous system so your nervous system can remain calmer for a longer period of time.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So and aligning your body.
There's a lot more magic coming in. The magic.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, and ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge coming back online with all
reconnecting. Yes. So in the conference, they had us, the Blue Beings of Light came in and did all the teaching. That's a whole, I didn't even tell anybody on my team. I'm like, yeah, no. Finally, when I said, somebody goes, how's that going to work? I'm like, I don't know. But it did. So they helped clear the inside first, then the connection to the underworld, to that magic, to helping us reconnect with the beings, the mystical, the ancient earth beings. So they had us reignite our DNA.
Beautiful.
And then up to the cosmos, reignite our DNA in that direction as well. And here's the point. The conference was called Ignite. I named this a year ago. I had no idea it was going to be Ignition Point. But here's the thing, Pam. We got to the upper world at the 27th dimension through the underworld at the 8th dimension. And it was like this portal opened up, this time warp happened, this wormhole happened, and next thing you know, the whole room was on the 27th dimension. And I'm like, what just happened? And so it was like coming from the upper world to the underworld, from the underworld to the upper world. It wasn't linear.
Yeah, we're entering a much greater period of multidimensionality, where you can experience the galactic beings out there and the magical elemental beings and the inner earth beings down here at the same time. So as linear time dissolves,
yes,
with that straight line trajectory, it morphs into multidimensionality, that we're connected to all living beings out there and down here. So that is super exciting. It's really exciting that you had that experience of witnessing all those people at your conference actually feeling that.
Yes, it was. It was stunning. It was just stunning to experience that level of multidimensionality. And I can't even get started on just the animals. The intelligence of the animals coming through, I just get goosebumps. Because one morning I went to take my dog for a walk, and I'm looking down at my keys. Do I have my keys? Do I have my this? Do I have the dog bags? And I look up, and there's a male and a female deer right at my gate. Big antlers, and then the female, and they're just looking at me.
Beautiful.
So Yeah, the animals are really coming through, and the movie, The Disclosure Day, it comes through about the animals too. But I don't want to get too sidelined because I want to talk about, okay, so this 3-month period of time, then there's going to be a big integration period, a very earthly connection in August. Yeah. So August is very much helping our bodies integrate the changes that we're going through right now.
Yeah, yeah. So heading towards Virgo season, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, so as we're integrating all that, and I've changed the name from Ascension Symptoms to Adaptation Symptoms, because that's exactly what we're going through. We are adapting to these changes. And then we're going to enter this 3-year cycle. So I'm only going to briefly mention these, but because we're going to go from 2026 into 2027, I'm seeing at the end of from like November 2027 to like March in 2028. And I didn't talk to you about this ahead of time, but that's going to be another, what they call these hinge point moments. And the blue beings of light call them hinge point because it's like when the door opens, there's another big walk through door moment that happens. And then I won't really go into the 30-year piece, but by the time we hit the 30, we are already in the 30-year time frame. In that longer time frame, we're already in another dimension. And in that dimension, a lot of people can talk about what we're going to be able to do as humans, but we can really only talk about it from a mental perspective. But they get me all excited because because I love the medical field, that what's going to happen in the medical field is going to be mind-blowing. What's going to happen.
Change out of all recognition. The way we heal, the old medical system, I think, is going to go, all the old systems, be they political, financial, judicial, educational, it's all going to go. And it's all going to go to dust, and we'll barely remember how we live. There's going to be such a jump. And because this is moving at speed, isn't it, Nancy? I mean,
yes. Yeah.
March 25, the beginning of the end of Kali Yuga, and then we had a big jump at the December solstice. December 2025, we had another, spring 26, and then more recently through June, from my point of view, and obviously from yours, from the 12th of June onwards, it's just upstepping, and we're going to just hang on in our physicality. Very rapidly, without any real rehearsal for our bodies.
Oh, no. No rehearsal. And that from work with my body, how to get my body back on. So they showed me this, it's like we're driving down the road, and you can see heading to happen near Seattle. So we'll say we're heading to the city, and you're looking at these big skyscrapers on either side of I-5, which is this 6-lane highway. And you're just driving along, and you're cool. You're going to I'll be in Canada in 2 hours if I just keep heading straight north. And then they're just showing the buildings just collapse and completely block the highway. And this is what they're saying. When we have these crashes like this, you've got the option. You can just sit there in the car and say, well, now what I'm going to do, you get out and start moving brick by brick. You've got that option, move brick by brick. It's going to take you a while to get wherever to your destination. You're not going to make it on whatever time. Or you can back up. You can find a way, another road to go all the way around that blockage and keep moving. So this is how they describe humanity has these choice points. And when you are accessing a few dimensions, we'll say, I think pretty much everybody can kind of get the third and the fourth dimension. Many people can even get the fifth dimension. You have choices, a handful of choices at those dimensions. that are very adequate. But if you're working at the 6th to the 12th dimension or the 36th dimension, or some people, I imagine, can access 100 dimensions at the same time, then you have a lot of options. I think at the 100th dimension, you just wiggle your nose, and you're in Canada, right? But this is how they want people to understand nobody's doing anything wrong. They're just, what do you have access to right now? So they did show that. So I've talked about the larger wavelengths, the waves that are coming in. The last thing I want to mention about this is they said, Nancy, within this 3-month period of time, we want to give you the perspective of how big this is. Some in humanity have the potential to jump 16 timelines.
Wow.
In 3 months. 16.
That's extraordinary.
The average would be between 3 and maybe 9. So the average of humanity. And so if it feels quick, it's because it's quick. And when I did that guided meditation at the conference, this was the other thing that it just left me so mind blown, was when everyone went to the 8th dimension, the underworld, it felt like I'd been guiding them for 2 minutes, and I looked at my clock. They had been in the underworld for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It felt like 2. When they went to the upper world, it felt like I'd been guiding them 20 minutes, and it had been 2 minutes.
Yeah. Time is going to warp. It is already.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Wow. So even on, the collective jump could be as big as 6 dimensions in these next 3 months. I mean, that's quite incredible, isn't it? Considering how long we've been stuck in 3D, all of us.
Yes. And here's the thing. Your body wants everything to stay the same. Your body loves routine. I have my routine in the evening. I love to make myself a cup of chamomile tea. I've got a certain range of time. I like to get my pajamas on. I like, take my dog for a walk in the evening, put her to bed. I've got this certain routine. And if that routine changes, I feel unsettled. And my body is like, look, you're doing a lot, Nancy, so just keep my routine and don't change it. And this is what's happening. Even if our routine is uncomfortable, that's where the inner battle's coming on in this chrysalis, where we are in the cocoon right now. There's this inner battle where we just want to stay a caterpillar. It's like we just don't want to get wings and grow. What's that going to mean? And it's not like we're doing this consciously. Your body just loves its routine. And here's the thing. Your body just wants to know that you've got this. I've got this. I know it's busy. I know we're going to make about 6 leaps, but I'm going to make sure you get enough water. I'm going to make sure that you get out for your walks. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm going to make sure you get enough sleep. I'm going to make sure you surround yourself by healthy people. It's like, that's our consciousness job right now, is to make sure self-care becomes a priority.
Yeah, I would really, really, really agree with that, because everything, and I've said it so many times, is your absolute priority is your state of being. And you get your state of being right, and everything cascades from that. It's like you create your own bubble of energy, and it can be extremely loving, extremely compassionate, but then you have your vision, your imagination, your broadcasting from that place of energetic stability, and your reality just works so much better, rather than random events hitting you, oh my God, the war goes on, and what's going to happen to the economy, and crazy, because we end up scattered and all over the place. So
exactly,
having mastery of our state of being, and a big part of that is self-care, I think is absolutely crucial. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help others, because because you can help more people.
Exactly.
Put the oxygen mask on yourself, you can help more people. So yeah, this is absolutely, God, this is so interesting. From obviously, I'm seeing this through an astrological lens, Nancy, and it's so interesting. Because I've been talking about this mid-year period for a long time now, so it's brilliant to get your kind of energetic confirmation of
Yes.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wanted everyone to hear this, because when I got the information in November that that I needed to pare back a little bit on, I still produce at a high level. That's a given. But I was told, it was like, stop doing podcasts, don't do any more podcasts, just, and pare down. I cut off on Monday and I only do 2, talks a week. And so, and they told me where to trim my schedule, because they said, yep, things are going to be ramping up. Yep, your body's going to be going through it, but also your family's going to be going through it. And that's what happened. Was there was just a big shift in my entire family, and I'm so glad that I listened.
Yeah.
Because in the work that we're in, especially when you want to help people, you want to keep making those videos, you want to keep teaching, you want to keep being available. But it was at the higher level, the blue beings of light said, cut it back, cut it back, cut it back, because the longevity is going to serve you well if you take these big blocks of rest time. And so I listened. That's the point of that story, was I listened, even though it didn't make logical sense.
Wonderful. So we're beginning to open up to butterfly, some of us, even as early as late August.
Yes, late August. And at that point, the butterfly wings they're damp.
Yeah.
That's where, if you've ever seen it, it's just slow. It's like, I've got wings. I've got wings. I can't believe I have wings. So that's that phase you're going to be in, which then you're going to be learning how to navigate those wings over the next 3 years. So it's beautiful. It's not like just overnight, but it's just, you just start to navigate where life gets lighter. So we know the light is lighter, but your life gets lighter. You start to select lighter choices. Food is going to be a huge thing. People are already telling me they can't tolerate like a lot of sugar. They can't tolerate a lot of carbs. They can't tolerate eating late at night. Alcohol. The alcohol industry, they don't even know what to do, because people are stopping to drink alcohol. So there's a lot of lightness, and I have experienced levitating before when I was in Utah and at this high vibe point. And it's like, yeah, you're going to learn how to walk while being levitated a half an inch or an inch off the ground at the same time. It's not like we're just going to be flying. We're just learning how to work in our light body like a child who's learning how to roll over and sit up and crawl and then walk.
So you'll see more of the light body coming in with all that.
Oh, definitely. The light body is being activated right now as we speak. And to me, when I use as a clairvoyance, I look in your field, you look like all these blue sparkles. Now, I did just want to do a little exercise with you, and I wanted to know if you'd be happy to play along, because one of the things I want to teach, I always like to teach everyone this little exercise that everybody can do. Would you mind playing along?
No, fine.
Okay. So it is something I've been teaching. My students have gone through and a little bit. So I'm just calling it the elevator technique, for the lack of a better name right now. And right now, I want you to imagine having a conversation with a friend, and it could be one maybe at the 3D level. You're going to be on floor 3. You haven't stepped on the elevator yet. It can be someone that you just love talking to. It could be someone you have challenges talking to. But just let me know what you've got a sense of.
Yeah,
friend.
Yeah, that happened today, actually. So yeah, I've got it already. Yeah.
Okay. Can you now step onto the elevator both of you, and push the button to floor 5.
Yeah.
And then once the doors open, step off the elevator with your friend, have a conversation with your friend, and then tell me what's the difference in the conversations between floor 3, which is the 3D realm, and floor 5, which is the 5D realm. What's the difference in conversation?
It's less nailed down. It's less about the details and the specific. It's more visionary. It's more flowing. It's more imaginal. It's more about possibility than, we've got to do this by next Tuesday. It's just fluid and malleable. And it does have a magical quality to it. Very different.
Okay, beautiful. Now, if you wouldn't mind stepping back on the elevator with your friend. And now if you'll push the button to floor 12. So metaphorically, we're going to the 12th dimension. When the doors open and you step off the elevator, you and your friend step off the elevator together.
Yeah.
All right. Is your friend there with you on the 12th floor?
That would be a struggle, I think, currently. And that's not a judgment, because we're all on our own soul journey, different.
Yes.
But
yes.
No, I don't think that's currently available.
So you're unable to have that conversation at the 12th dimension with your friend. And again, no judgment. But what I'm hoping as the teacher for you to get the outcome of the lesson is knowing that sometimes you have to be able to kind of talk at the dimension they're able to hear it. Yeah. So now I would like for you to step back on the elevator without your friend, and you can let your friend go 100%.
Yeah.
And when you're inside the elevator, Pam, how many buttons do you see inside the elevator of we're going to call it a high-rise building? How many buttons, how many floors are in your elevator?
22.
22. So what that means, Pam, is that means that right now you are communicating with me at 22 dimensions. So we are not just on the 22nd dimension. You are able to communicate with me at this expansive 1 through 22 dimensions at the same time. So I'm able to hear this multidimensional conversation, and so we can get it at that dimension. What I can see that you do, Pam, if you don't mind me using my clairvoyance to read this, is what I'm seeing is that you get this higher level information, and then you dive down and you bring these big concepts down to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th dimension so that others can understand it. Does that sound like a truth for you?
It does, and thank you for that gift. I didn't know that was coming. I think I do it unconsciously as well. I'm not conscious of that process, but I think I'm quite good at translating complex, abstract concepts and making them accessible for people.
Yes.
That's what I had to do in my business life. So
yes.
Thank you for that gift, Nancy. That was
you're welcome. And the reason why I want to leave that with everyone so they can go, lie in the grass, lie on their bed, sit in a chair. You can go through that. And any relationship, you can play with it, be imaginative, be magical, be playful. And it's like, okay, I have this friend that can go to the 22nd floor with me. Oh, I have this friend. Let's stay at that 3rd dimensional realm. And again, there's nothing wrong. It's just that's where you each are. And I just want to always add this other note. They might be able to go to the 16th realm, and you may only be able to go to the 12th realm with them. So it works on that side too. Yeah. Yeah.
So does that also mean, Nancy, say if what you're sharing is correct, that you and I are communicating at the 22 dimensions, do the viewers have to apply their own filter? That some of the viewers may be at the 15th, others may be at the 30th dimension.
Yes.
Of us.
Yeah. And it's my sense that's why we communicate easily.
Right. It's a frequency match.
Yeah, because if you're going somewhere, especially if you're going to 22nd level, and that's another thing. What if you're talking about astrology? Like, how many dimensions can you go astrologically? And I'm still on the third dimension astrologically.
I have no idea. It's slightly daunting because I know there's going to be a huge evolutionary jump in astrology.
There is.
No pressure there. Do you have any insights on that, Nancy?
For you, or just in general astrologically?
Anything you
First of all, I can still remember the first time we talked, and I was so starstruck, and I still am. But I could see that you were definitely moving outside our solar system in your communication, and you have. I could also sense you were going even further than that, and you have been. But there is something that is shifting since your courses that you're taking. I don't know if you've talked about
shamanic training.
Yes. That's that underworld to the upper world that you're going to be bringing in. It's so strong. Yeah, it's so strong.
Really excited about weaving it with the astrology. I mean, really excited, because that ancient indigenous wisdom that we're remembering in that training is just so rich that we've just kind of shunned, So I'm so excited. It's a path that I really think is right for now, and for so many of us as a means to remember. So
and it is. And during the conference, I was trying to remember the name of it, but it was in Ireland, I can't remember the Tuatha and how they came. I'll just call it Shambhala because I can't remember the name of the 4 golden cities that are way above, and then the mystical, magical beings that ended up in Ireland going underneath because it wasn't safe to be, on the level with the humans, and now they're coming to the surface. That's what I see that you're doing. But here's my question to you. How long ago did the mystical, magical beings go under the earth? Like, how many thousands of years ago did that happen? And what would have the astrology been at that time?
Yeah, I don't. I don't know the answer to that. But I mean, they've been down there a long time, and very advanced civilizations. I think
Yes.
we are galactic beings in another location. So again,
Yes.
We're the barbarians and the laggards living on the surface of the earth with an awful lot of catch up to play, both with the galactics out of the cosmos and the galactics in Earth. I think it's going to be an extraordinary period of learning and remembering.
It really is
so exciting for all of us. We just have to kind of stop watching the horror and the awfulness and stop feeding it energetically and say, okay, I'm going to put my spiritual blinkers on and I'm going to create my vision alongside all of my fellow travelers here on the same frequency. Don't wait, create. We're just going to keep creating from now on.
I love that. Don't wait, create. And the way that the blue beings, they communicate to me through symbols. They communicate to everyone through light codes and symbols. So they're showing me, it's like I'm on this highway and I'm looking at this car ahead. We've all been on the highway and seen this. And it's like, oh, what's that? What's that sticker on their bumper? But you're just cruising along and they're slowly, you're kind of catching up. You're not speeding up. You're doing the same speed. You see a little dog in the back window. You see the color of the car. It's like, oh, that's an old car. And, and you're just kind of watching as you go along. But then there comes a point where I feel like we are now where we're starting where the cars seem bigger than life. And that's what the outer world's right now. All this drama and trauma and noise. That's what we're seeing. And as we're starting to pass by, it looks like suddenly the car's going in reverse.
Yeah.
That's where we are in this 3-month period of time. What was consuming news-wise, we just can't be bothered because we're now looking at the next horizon.
Brilliant analogy, actually, Nancy. Really brilliant. That's exactly how I think it's going to be. And I haven't warned you about this question, but there's a very powerful solar eclipse on the 12th of August that will particularly affect people born in the early 50s, 1950s.
Oh, okay.
So do you have any particular thought about...
I do.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Because that was just a spontaneous question. Okay.
So, no, was Spirit leading you into my next, talking about baby boomers?
That's right. Exactly, the baby boomers. Yeah. Awesome. Wow. Okay.
So this is on my sheet,
Okay.
and what I want to talk about, the baby boomers. So I want to talk about the elders, and the elders. So we're talking about the baby boomers, and right now, the world, the unconscious world, thinks about baby boomers as taking up too much of the medical system, taking up too much of Social Security and retirement, taking up
Too much housing, probably.
Housing. I was looking it up. Even elevators, like they have to put a lot more elevators in. It's like people had big houses and now they're shrinking into one bedroom houses. Like everything is being completely changed by the trajectory of the baby boomers. And here's the thing, the blue beings of light said to me, whoever told you that the baby boomers were coming in because of World War II and they were trying to bring life back in and they were having a lot of babies and there was all this growth and no. There were a lot of babies born during that time because we need them to be the elders during this great time of change.
Yeah. I get that.
So they told me this last year. It's coming in a lot. I asked them about it. I said, can you give me an example? So they showed how there's this stabilizing grid, a very strong grid. They're stabilizing the grid, the elders. Now I'm going to say from the ages of 60, age 60 up, and please, those who are in your 50s, 40s, 30s, don't feel left out. You got your own things going on. Let us elder people have our time. And so what they showed me was the coherence of the heart chakra. So the elders, it's like, oh my God, okay, let's just talk about somebody in their 20s. Okay, oh my God, my boyfriend or my girlfriend broke up with me. Slam, there goes the heart. Okay, slowly crank the heart up. Oh, I got fired from my job. Slam, oh, my vacation got canceled. Slam, oh, I got sick. Slam, it just open, slam, open, slam. And they're like, the elders are just constant. They're just this coherent. It's like they just don't sweat the small stuff. So that's part of it. But they showed me that when the elders, when they open their heart chakra, the grid and the auric field of everyone on the face of the planet gets thicker. It's not like paper thin. It's like once the elders are around you, your own grid gets thicker. So you want to be seeking out elders around you.
That's so interesting because that links to a conversation I had just 2 days ago. So that's absolutely fascinating about our role in stabilizing the grid, the Earth's grid.
Yeah.
Wow. Extraordinary, Nancy. Wow. Another gift. Okay.
Well, and the other thing I just want to say about that, because I know we're going to be wrapping up, I'm sure there was a point where you were like, what business do I have learning something new? Like what point do I have investing all this time, taking this new shamanic course? You're right on target because the psychic ability of the elders is going through the roof. And I'm having, at the conference, I said, how many of you are almost 90? And we had about 6 people raise their hand. Everybody looked around. They could not believe it. They're taking psychic courses, intuitive courses. It's like their learning arc is accelerated right now. And so, yeah, it's just incredible what's happening.
That is immensely exciting because I do think we are going to regenerate. There are lots of astrological indicators of that. Regenerate, live longer, live healthier. And there's going to be a bit of a polarization in that, to be fair. But those of us who are really focused on love and joy and creating a better world, I think it's going to be extraordinary and very exciting. You're going to feel more vital. You're going to feel more youthful. A lot of the aches and pains are going. I mean, I'm actually experiencing this myself, so I can say with some authority and conviction. And I know many people of my age and stage are feeling exactly the same. This
Yes.
hypnosis we've been in as you get older,
Yes.
things decay and drop off and it's all hopeless. That's just a hypnosis. You can
Yes.
throw that away and say, no, I'm in radiant health and I'm going to get stronger and better every day. Change the music track.
Exactly.
So I didn't prompt you on this, Nancy, but can you see anything going into September onwards, into those last few months of the year, and then the difference in the energy in 2027?
Well, the big thing that's happening, and I know that a lot of people are going to welcome this. Part of it's a deep rest period. It's also a deep earthy period of time. And it looks like a fog, like I can't see through the fog. I know that I could use my clairvoyance to look through the fog. And as I'm doing this, it's like there's a lot of bear energy. I just want to stress that as well. And like the bear that kind of goes a little bit into hibernation, but you go into this rest period of time. So I'm seeing that because there is going to be another big surge starting off in 2027. And it's like you're resting and preparing, and there can be this desire that you've been racing. I just the blue beings of light show me it's like running a marathon, and when you hit the ribbon, you've broken through the ribbon, but you can't stop running. You can't just stop. Your legs want to keep going. People will hook on your arms and just kind of walk with you a little bit because that adrenaline, that blood's been pumping through the legs. So once we get into this September phase, there's something big in October, as well, but it's a deepening. Again, it's a deepening. So do you understand what I'm saying about the marathon? Like
Yes.
you want to just keep walking. It's like you've been running this whole time, but you will find ways to rest and find creative things to do that's restful for the body, because your DNA is still going through shifts. And I don't even get me started on the ancestor, the paternal and maternal lines that are happening. That's just a whole another piece. That's why I said, are you sure we can't talk for 4 hours?
but also it takes a lot of energy for our bodies
It does.
to evolve our DNA, because again, we've never done it before. It's a huge
not at this level. Nope.
So yeah, I really get, and that's why so many of us are exhausted.
Yes. Yeah. And if I can just say about nature.
Yeah.
Nature is like a cluster of blue light codes. If you just switch it to the blue light channel, you're going to see light codes in every leaf, in every part of the bark, and all the animals. You've got we definitely have the quantum field. You just have so many sparks, so much plasma. It's just almost like this pure blue radiance of light, which, as we accelerate, you are going to be able to see the luminescence coming off of nature. Nature is the key to the kingdom.
That is wonderful to hear. As a huge nature lover and animal lover, as I know you are as well, Nancy, that is music to my ears. That needs to happen, because we've so exploited and pillaged and raped nature, and it's turnaround time. It really is. We must.
Yeah, and they're going to show us you needed us more than we needed you.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So much of that all of it really was just completely spontaneous and joyful. Is there any final message you'd like to leave us with, Nancy, before we close?
Not really. The thing that I had an opportunity to say everything that I wanted to say right now. But that there's so many people who are doing such great works right now. There's some people that are trying to pull the carpet out from underneath us, but oh my gosh, their pull's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And it's like just this little tiny, I can't even, the voice is getting quieter. Those loud booming voices of destruction are getting quieter. And so we just need to keep listening to those voices of of upliftment and expansion and communicating with each other. And here's the thing where I remember this phase where we were going through where Pluto was in Capricorn. Yep. And it's that top-down authority. And yep. Then it enters, now we have Aquarius, and it's the bottom-up authority. That's what I'm starting to see now. I'm seeing everyone come online. We had a woman at the conference. We were talking about light language, and she got downloaded with this light language. She read several pages, and I'm just like, do you have a history of quantum physics? No, she said. Do you, what's your college degree? And she goes, nothing. And I'm like, well, how did you know this? She goes, I don't know. She was bringing through high-level information that just, we all had goosebumps. So we're seeing this now. And so don't be surprised. That's the last message. Don't be surprised that that accelerated consciousness, you're going to have some enormous gifts coming out of it that have always been there.
Yeah,
they're just waking up.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nancy. And it's interesting. Just 2 days ago, I was at a kind of big group meditation for the solstice, and met a lot of new people I hadn't met before. And all of the people there were doing something extraordinary, whether it was their own thing with healing, or setting up an artisan business, or in a group of permaculture experts, or growing their own food, or all very quietly, lovingly, kindly, they were creating something that will feed into New Earth. And it was just thrilling. And these are just, regular people, regular people. And
I just can't be bothered. That's what I'm noticing. I just can't be bothered.
We're done with the noise. We're absolutely done with the drama. And the new energy is feeling to me like a snowball rolling down a mountain. It's got such momentum now that it's absolutely unstoppable. That's my